Well, we lost KVK, but it was a really good KVK for me. And today we're going to be talking about all of the different commanders, how they did, and what my before and after stats and resource consumption was. You're not going to want to miss this one. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms gameplay episode from your very own Chappy Gaming. And today we are talking about this KVK, but we're not talking about the drama. We're not talking about the fact that we lost, but we did. If you want to hear about all that, click the link on the top right side of your screen. That'll take you to hear all that. Today, we are talking about my stats, how I did, what worked for me this KVK, what didn't work for me this KVK, some things that I realized kind of along the way, and some tips that may help you out. So let's start with the most important thing, and that is stats, right? Stats are the key leading indicator as to whether I was successful this KVK or not. And I'd say I did pretty good. So I started the KVK with about 79 million power, and I'm now at just about 73 million power. That said, I haven't gotten my troops back. When I get my troops back, I'm probably going to be somewhat close to 79, probably closer to 78 million power, which I think is actually pretty good. But the bigger accomplishment for me is really the kill points number. I hit 5 billion with a B kill points this KVK. And that is a huge win for me. It is an accomplishment I've been working really hard towards. I've been trying to get out of that farmer state and into that fighter bucket, and I think this finally gets me closer to that. Not only that, but when you do the math, it looks like I netted over 500 million kill points. Yeah, just about 533 million kill points. This may have been my best KVK ever, which is pretty crazy. I know that's not that big of a deal, but remember, guys, I consider myself to be like low spender dolphin-ish, and I only bought the Crystal Tech pop-ups. So I didn't go ahead and whale out and buy Mountain Warfare. I didn't do anything like that. I just bought the pop-ups. And here's actually where my tech has ended. I've been pretty fortunate. KVK is literally ending in all of for 53 minutes. So I'm recording this on the clock, but my tech ended up pretty well too. So I ended up with 8 out of 10 on Quench Blades, 7 out of 10 on Improved Bows, 8 out of 10 on Combat Techniques, and everything else went pretty well. So I felt really good about it. This KVK, we were predominantly fighting kingdoms that were really more our size, which was pretty critical, right? We were fighting these guys down here, and then we were fighting some of these folks up here, but they were much more painful to battle. But overall, it was a really good time. I had a blast, and I used kind of a lot of resources and speed ups. So we saw where I started with power, right? That's where I started with power. If you want to check out that video, it'll be linked in the description, and obviously there's the name of it right there. So you can go check that out. That was my before video, and we talked through my stats. Let's take a look at this fun stuff. We have building power, tech power, troop power, all this good stuff. So let's see what that looks like now. So this is me before, SSSABA, remember that? Right? Okay, let's see. And this is me after. It's the same, no major difference here, and that's kind of to be expected. I wasn't investing in armaments all that much. What I was investing in is dead troops. So let's take a look at exactly how many troops I racked up as deads this KVK. Bam. I thought this was pretty good. You guys know I love killing my troops, probably more than almost anything in this game, and maybe I shouldn't, right? Maybe I shouldn't be swarming things. Maybe I should be trying to, chase those kill points, but that's not really how I play. You guys know that. We play for fun here. And what did I kill the most of? Okay, pause the video right now and guess in the comments. Guess in the comments. I'm looking at you. Okay. I killed cavalry. I killed a lot of cavalry, and the reason for that was Attila Subotai, right? We were throwing rallies left and right. Attila Subotai was everywhere. He was the rally meta against every commander that we were trying to rally against. So it makes sense, right? I also think when you look at my marches, if I'm swarming something, it's going to be cavalry and it's going to be infantry that I'm taking the most losses of. I was really surprised that I didn't lose more infantry and archers. It worked out well with the number of troops I had left. If we take a look here, I actually don't have all that many troops left. I have just enough to fill my marches, right? If I had an expansion on, I could fill both of these. Realistically, I probably could have killed some more infantry. I couldn't really have killed many more archers, or I wouldn't have been able to fight with expansions, but I probably could have killed some more infantry. But I feel pretty good about how all that netted out, if I'm being honest. So my dead count was really good. I'm pumped about it. And my resources, oh, what a relief. I don't know if you guys missed the last KVK that I made a video on. I'll link that on the top right too. Just go watch all the videos. But last KVK, I think I spent between 14 and 16 billion resources. And thankfully, this KVK, I did not. This KVK, I only spent 11.5 billion resources for over 30 million kills, right? We saw the kill points number. If I go over here and I pull up my path to greatness, I'm even above the threshold, so it won't show me exactly how many kills I got, but you guys saw the kill point numbers, so that's no big deal. But yeah, I spent a fair bit of resources, but not too much, which is good. And I'm really excited to get some of it back. Again, we lost, so I'll probably be getting 15% back instead of 10% back, which should give me a nice head start on the next KVK. And I didn't end up using up all my gold. I still have about 300 million gold, which is very nice. As a kingdom, we did all right. We're getting some special immigration points as a consequence of our contributions here. Unit deaths, again, as a kingdom, we mostly used up some cavalry. You do see a lot of siege in here, and that was mainly because we were, stuffing flags and stuff. But yeah, it was mostly cavalry from just about everyone. So my matchup of having mostly cavalry, then infantry, then archers is pretty aligned with just about what we saw for everyone else. So there's my stats, but what about my speed ups, right? Lilith hasn't provided a way for us to easily view speed ups right away. So let's pull these things up for us. So going into this KVK, we had a ton of speed ups. We had 1,932 days of speed ups. That's not the case now. We've used up a lot of speed ups, but let's see exactly how many we've used up. We have about 1,848 days of universal speed ups. Obviously, we're way out of building speed ups, training speed ups, and healing speed ups, which makes sense because of combat. But overall, I think I use slightly under 100 days of speed ups of universals. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I guess we were doing a lot of forts and we were doing things like that and barbing a ton. So we were covering a lot of our losses as we were gaining them. But I'm very happy with my speed up consumption here. I think a lot of this comes from the fact that the trades were mostly positive. I think my ratio ended up being around like 1.3, so 1.3 kills for every severely wounded that I took. So I did pretty well in that aspect, and I think that's why my resource consumption and my speed ups were actually in a pretty good place coming out of this KVK. So I feel pretty good about this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Overall, I think this went pretty great, especially considering how we've done in previous KVKs. I think I'll actually start next KVK with more speed ups than I did this time. So there's my speed ups. Now, I know what you guys really want to learn about, and that's going to be the commanders. So let's talk about it and see exactly how all of my different commanders did. So if we go over here, we started the KVK. We go over with Nevsky, and Nevsky began with, and I haven't looked at this, so I don't know who the top killer is, and this is going to be exciting. Nevsky started the KVK with 18.2 million kills. What is he at now? He is at 19.8 million kills. So he did pretty well. What is that? 1.7 million kills? Not bad. I think that's just about how he did last KVK too. I've had a lot of people say, hey, Shappy, you should probably bench Nevsky at this point and run William with Arthur primary, obviously, and then run Ho Chu Bing with Joan. Maybe I'll do that next KVK. We'll see. I haven't really made a decision there. Nevsky's been pretty good to me long term, so oh well. So he racked out about 1.7 million kills. All good there. What about some of our other commanders here? Who else do we have? We have Joan. So let's take a look at Joan. Joan managed to rack up 16.7 million kills going into this KVK. And I hope she did better this time. Yeah, okay. So Joan managed to pull out just about 1 million, 1.5 to 1.6 million kills, just about the same as Nevsky. Dang. I really was expecting Joan to do more. I guess it makes sense when you look at the breakdown of Nevsky and Joan. They probably would have a similar composition of the number of kills that they brought in. But I was hoping Joan would have brought in more kills. I'm going to be a little honest. I'm pretty underwhelmed there. I am surprised. Okay. So Joan didn't do that great this KVK. Okay. Who else do we have? Let's look at the one that I love to hate. You guys know I love to hate Ho Chi Bing. He started this KVK at 17 million kills. Oh, man. He racked up 4.2 million kills. Wow. Are you guys seeing this? 4.2 million kills this KVK. Ho Chi Bing, I did you dirty, my friend. You did well for me this KVK. I owe you an apology. But if that's Ho Chi Bing, I really want to know how Arthur did. So let's see how Arthur did. Arthur started this KVK at 1.3 million kills. 1.3. We already know Ho Chi Bing brought in 4 million. So Arthur, oh my God. Arthur also brought in just about 4 million kills there. And he's now at just about 5.6 million. So he brought in, again, 4.4 million kills. Ho Chi Bing Arthur went hard. Wow. I'm so surprised. That's crazy. Those are some pretty good numbers between those two. Okay. So did anyone beat them? Did anyone beat this combo? Let's find out. Nevsky Joan is benched. I think that's gonna have to be the way it is, guys. I feel bad about it. Maybe I think it's time to swap them out. Let's look at the infantry. We have William Wallace, who started this KVK at 5.59, and this probably is his last KVK now that Bai Chi's out. But he did pretty well, and now he is at, let's find out, 9.32. So he started at 5.6, and now he's at 9.3. So he brought in just about 4 million kills too, a little bit less. The number will be on the screen. That's pretty good, guys. I feel pretty good about that. I know we're saying bench William Wallace, but I feel pretty good about that. I think he pulled his weight. It's really just that counterattack damage really makes him super helpful. The counter plus normal, he's pretty swarm proof, and he works well with Luce. It's a good pair. It's a good pair. I don't know, guys. I feel good about that, but it's what it is. So we got William Wallace there. Now, let's go take a look at another infantry commander. We have Ragnar. Let's see how Ragnar did this KVK. Ragnar was run with Scipio, and he started this KVK at 949,000 kills. And he is only at 3.4. So he brought in around 2.7 million kills. It's fine. I don't know. I think Ragnar is probably going to see the bench. If I max Bai Chi, I'm going to have to figure out who's going where. But I could totally see myself running Scipio, Luce, and Bai Chi with William Wallace. We're going to have to find out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Should I be changing my lineup based on this output? I think I probably should. But yeah, Ragnar, you did okay. 3.47 compared to 9.49. Feels like maybe a swap I shouldn't have gone for. That said, it was all I could do at the time. So not great, not terrible. It is what it is. So there's Ragnar. Who else do we have? Let's take a look at Scipio. As I said, I was running Ragnar with Scipio pretty much this entire KVK. And Scipio has always been a slayer for me. I've always been like super unaware of how many kills he's bringing in. And let's see. So he started at 15.1 and he's at 17.6. So he really brought in about 2.5 million kills. It's fine. Again, I'm a little bit disappointed in my infantry this KVK considering how well Ho Chi Bing with Arthur did. I'm hoping that Bai Chi can really change things up. And I'm definitely thinking I'm going to have to bench Nevsky in this next KVK. I'm thinking that's going to have to be the way it is. But Scipio did all right. There's the diff right there. Couple million kills. Not great, not bad. Now, I do have to address the elephant in the room, which is Luce. Let's see how he did, because he's a beast, and he was paired with William Wallace. If you guys remember the last KVK, Luce carried a lot of the kills that pair was running, and I would imagine he carried a lot of the kills this time too. He started at 16.9, and now he's at 20.6. Wow. So he got just over 4 million kills too. So Luce with William Wallace and Ho Chi Bing with Arthur were like on par with each other, which is wild to me. That is a great setup. That works out really well. I'm sure my archers didn't do particularly well. But what I'm realizing is I definitely have like a primary infantry march and a primary cavalry march and then secondary marches. And they're just not doing it for me. So I'm going to have to change my setup, I think. But Luce did great. And now before we talk about archers, I have to come clean. I went into this KVK saying, guys, I'm going to use siege. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to use the siege. They did not have good enough equipment. I didn't max them. I mean, Gajamada's been coming along pretty well from the dailies, but I just couldn't do it. I didn't have the flexibility to use up all the gold heads on both of these two and then still retain enough gold heads to max Bai Chi. That said, I'm probably going to do that going into next KVK unless they decide they're going to launch some really crazy commanders, because I am buying the dailies for Gajamada and probably will be for Cordoba if I max Gajamada. And Bai Chi is just chilling right now. I haven't done anything with him yet. I'm not doing anything with him until next KVK. So I know we were hoping for some siege. I did get some equipment crafted, so that's good, and I have some more coming, so you guys will see that going into next KVK. And I do have some pretty wicked armaments that I got set up. I got Loosed, Ward, Bloody Bolt, Primed, Ballistics, and that's not even with anything equipped here. So I'm trying to get a good piece for here, and then I'll throw this on. So my armaments are looking pretty awesome. It's just I don't have the equipment, and him and Cordoba are not maxed yet. Please forgive me. I know I promised. I didn't do it. I said I was going to, but I didn't do it. So now we have to look at the commanders that always seem to let me down these days. And those are archers. So let's see. What did Zhuge Liang go into KVK with? Zhuge Liang started with 15.4 million kills. We'll say 5. We can round up. And he's at 18.16, which means he got just over 2.5 million kills, about 2.6 million kills. You know what? I think my archers did better than my Nevsky Joan. Ooh, that feels wrong. Does that feel wrong to anyone else? That feels wrong. That feels strange to me that archers did better than Nevsky Joan. Maybe my Nevsky was just diving into the murder balls. Wow. I'm pleasantly surprised. Zhuge Liang, you always seem to catch me off guard. Okay, now what about Herman, right? Herman is Zhuge's counterpart. He went into KVK with 7.7 million kills. And where did he land? Let's find him on here. There he is. And he closed it out like a beast at 10.3. So my archers continue to be viable. This is the only pair that I've seen do remotely well. And granted, they're not doing as well as Ho Chi Bing with Arthur or William Wallace with Luce, but they're doing all right. So I feel pretty good about that. I think that's not bad. The difference between the two, I don't think that's bad at all. I'll take that. Archers did pretty well. And last but not least is Zeno. So I maybe got rallied, just maybe. And that may have meant that my Xeno got just a little bit of love. So Xeno is now at just about 9.1 million kills. And going into this KVK, Xeno was at 9 million kills. So that one rally really didn't do it. I don't even think it's worth looking at Theo. It didn't make any difference. And Attila got 0 action this KVK. I didn't have artifacts, I had auxiliary skills, so I wasn't using him. So that wraps up our commander roundup for this KVK. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Did my top killers surprise you, or were you totally expecting them to be what they were? And more importantly, do you think I should be changing my lineup? And if so, what should I be changing it to? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you've enjoyed, hit that subscribe button right over there, bottom right-hand corner, and hit the bell so you get notified when new episodes come out. Thank you all. Chappy out.